It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for hanging out with me today. On today's program, my friends, we have music by Kate Bush, and I am happy that you are joining me. Kate is an artist that I really didn't know before starting this channel. I have reviewed her work, I think 3 or 4 times previously. Megan and I reacted to her song This Woman's Work about a year ago. Heartbreaking and beautiful tune. And then with The Fervor of Stranger Things, season 4, last summer, we looked at Running Up That Hill. And that was a great tune. Soon after that, I released my Patreon reaction to Kate and Peter Gabriel singing Don't Give Up. And boy, that's a poignant tune as well. I have also listened to her Wuthering Heights, and that reaction is still only available via my Patreon. So I feel like I have a decent introduction to Kate's music with some more commercially successful pop, as well as other sounds that are less commercial but have loads of personality. And there's many people that have been asking for me for several months to get to her 9th wave suite. And so that is what we are up to today, my friends. Not only for a Woman Wednesday episode, but this is also a part of Women's History Month. And specifically today, Wednesday, March 8th, is International Women's Day. So I think we have y'all covered. The 9th wave suite takes up all of side 2 of Kate's 5th studio album called Hounds of Love, and that was released in 1985. The album was a commercial success, remains a commercial success. It was spurred by Running Up That Hill, as well as the title track Hounds of Love, and this suite, which includes 7 songs that form a cohesive concept work that spins a sort of life cycle narrative as Kate takes us through sort of a rebirth, sort of a dying and a rebirth, or a close to death experience, and this sort of rebirth idea. And she has described the suite as being about a person who is alone in the water for the night. Scary enough. It is about their past, present, and future coming to keep them awake, to stop them from drowning, to stop them from going to sleep until the morning comes. I am intrigued, my friends, and it's been a long time coming, so I'm happy to finally get to this suite today. On the album, all of the songs go, and I think they just move right from one into the other as a true suite, a connected suite. I'm going to separate these song by song as I go through them, just to give me a chance to talk about anything that strikes me in the moment. Kate is the songwriter and the composer of all of these pieces. She is on the vocals, she's on the piano, she's on the synths, and she is joined by more than 24 different credited musicians. So it's a big effort, and I am ready to get started. So strap in, y'all. We've got about 26 minutes of music, and we're going to start with the first song, which is called And Dream of Sheep. Here we go.
Little light shining.
And dream of sheep. Counting sheep.
Little light
That's a 5th.
me. My face is all lit
But it's not do and sol, it's May and Tay.
If they find
Transfer to the major key, relative major.
They
finally erasing my
They'll
voice.
not take me for a boy.
They'll not take me for a buoy.
Let me be weak.
Let me be weak.
Let me sleep and dream of sheep.
Attention shipping information in sea areas.
Oh, I'll wake up
So she's been marooned
of June.
from a shipwreck, I believe.
Every gun sinking crowd.
We're back in the minor key, C sharp minor.
Eyes open, wish I had my radio.
relative major.
Voices talking about stupid
It's
things.
beautiful. Her voice is
I can't be left to
just
my
gorgeous.
imagination.
Higher tessitura than a lot of pop female singers.
Let me sleep and dream of she.
Okay, so she resolves to the major key and back to minor. So she's going back and forth between E and C sharp.
Oh, the breath is warm. And
It's kind of like we're not sure which way it's going to go.
like sleep. And they say they take me home.
And they say they take me home.
Like poppy,
Beautiful.
heavy with sea. They take me deeper and deeper.
Deeper and deeper. Okay. That's a great introduction, isn't it? I feel like she was so connected to either the relative minor key, which is C sharp minor, or the relative major key, which is E. The two chords that she was using a lot were A and B, right? So if I'm in C sharp minor, that's flat 6 and flat 7, right? Moving up to C sharp minor. But if I'm in E, that's the 4 chord and the 5 chord. So they work as leading to either E major or C sharp. Take your pick, right? And I think we're going to get quite a bit of analogy here and metaphorical language, but the lyrics here are quite literal. We are introduced to our narrator who seems to literally be lost at sea. And let's see what she ends up enduring and how she gets out of it. So here's the next song called Under Ice. Off we go. Goes down to A. Getting faster. Down to F. Down another third to D. Back to A. Everywhere so white. There's trepidation in this.
Frozen over.
The river has frozen over, not a soul on the ice.
Ice.
Me. So she's dreaming, I think.
I'm speeding past trees.
Or hallucinating. Her imagination's starting to take over. Cutting out little lines in the ice. There's a storm. Strings are gradually getting louder. There's something moving under. Moving under the ice.
Water trying to get out of the cold water.
Out of the cold water. It's for me.
Someone help them.
She was hanging out on the 9th of that A chord and then falls off. And it slows down. And we're on an A. Another short song. Boy, that's kind of a mirror image, isn't it? It's about over. I think it's going to go into the next song, but we're going to stop it. Yeah. Okay. So, wow. Under the ice. She sees herself under the ice. She's drowning and she needs help. at the end. She's saying, "It's me, it's me, it's me." Someone help, right? Holy buckets! I gotta keep going. The next one is called "Waking the Witch," and we're gonna see what happens here. So off we go, y'all.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Good morning, Dad. It's your early morning call.
Similar sounds to the beginning.
Wake up.
Back to C sharp minor.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up, love.
Several different voices, different people.
The light, but see your little lights alive.
Echo.
Can you not see that little light up there? There.
Some underwater sounds.
Wake up, sleepyhead.
We are of water in the holy land of water.
Don't you know you've kept him waiting?
Look who's here to see you.
Okay. Wow. Jeez. Who is the mean guy? Spiritus Sanctus in nomine, which means in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit in Latin. Church bells. Red, red roses. More church bells. Deus et Dei Domino Inferno. I'm less familiar with that, but I think it means God and Lord of Hell. I question your innocence. She is accused of being a witch. Damn you, woman. Is that supposed to be Satan? There's a stone around my leg. She's saying, what say you good people? Guilty, guilty. Shit. I want to know who's doing that male voice. Helicopter? Get out of the waves. So coming back to reality. That's gonna fade out. Wow. I'm glad. I'm glad that I found a radio interview that Kate gave, I think in the early 90s, about the suite. And I found some quotes about different songs, and I'm going to go to one of them about this one because I need some help. Kate, help me out. So in this radio interview, she said, these sort of visitors come to wake her up. to bring her out of this dream so that she doesn't drown. My mother's in there, my father, my brothers, Patty and John, Brian Tench, the guy that mixed the album, was in there. Dell, I think, is another one of her musicians, is in there. Robbie Coltrane does one of the voices. Cool. I was just trying to get lots of different characters and all the ways that people wake you up. Like, you sort of fall asleep at your desk at school and the teacher says, "Wake up, child, pay attention." I couldn't get a helicopter anywhere, and in the end I asked permission to use the helicopter from the wall. From Pink Floyd. It was the best helicopter I'd heard for years and years. I'll be damned. I think it's very interesting, the whole concept of witch hunting and the fear of women's power. In a way, it's very sexist behavior, and I feel that female intuition and instincts are very strong and are still put down, really. And in this song, this woman is being persecuted by the witch hunter and the whole jury. And although she has committed no crime, they are trying to push her under the water to see if she will sink or float. So that's what's going on. It's going into the past, I believe, but it also does have a ringing of what's happening in the present. Maybe in a different specific way, but the sentiments and the overall concept, I think, is still there. Interesting. The next song in the suite is called "Watching You Without Me," and I'm interested to see where it goes. Here we go. Interesting percussion. Interesting sounds. A lot of bloom on that drum. It's quirky, isn't it? It's got mechanical spots, but it's got really poignant and beautiful spots too. Subtonic, back to tonic, just moving by a whole step. Boom, think they're in C. It's very soft, but it's saying, you can't hear me here in the room with you now. You can't hear what I'm saying. You can't hear what I'm saying, do you?
Can't let you know what's been happening. There's a ghost in our home, just watching.
And the voice that we're hearing, I think, is her significant other, her person. I can't let you know what's been happening. There's a ghost in our home just watching you without me. Maybe not. Maybe it's her voice watching her significant other without her being there. Interesting bass line too. Don't ignore me, let me in. There's the water coming back in, reminding us of where she is. We see, but we don't. We don't see her, at least not at her home. simple tune. Just kind of abiding, not moving anywhere. Listen to me, talk to me. You can't hear me. Sounds like she's musing T-Mobile. Cutting in and out. Sorry, T-Mobile. You won't hear me leaving. Well, that's kind of scary. It is frightening, isn't it? I don't know if you have nightmares like this, but, you know, not being able to be seen, not being able to be heard, you can't reach anybody. That's a scary thought, right? So I think in this instance, our person, our narrator, has been in crisis for a while, and she's at home, at least in her mind, and she's observing her loved one who is waiting for her to come home, and they just can't communicate with each other. Wow, that's sad. Fascinating arrangement too, with them just trying to communicate to reach each other, and they just can't, and so you get all of these different sounds that have their words just going past each other. Really, really brilliant, actually. The next song in the suite is called "Jig of Life." I'm eager to keep going. I'm really into this, y'all. So here is "Jig of Life." Off we go. Well, there's a jig, open fiddle,
Hello, old lady.
and a reel. I believe they're in A,
So well,
making use of those open strings.
I know it well. She says, na 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 na. Be sitting in your mirror now. Is the place where the crossroads meet? Will you look into the future? Never,
Will you
never
look
say
into the
goodbye
future?
to my heart of your life. Oh, no, 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 no. Let me live.
Let me live.
She said, come on and let me live, girl. She said, come on and let me live, girl. This moment in time.
She's lower in her register, has a completely different color, vocal color, right?
She said,
It belongs to me and your little boy and your little girl, and the one hand clapping where on your palm is my little line.
It's
When you're
my
written
little
and
line.
mine is an old memory.
It's an old memory. She's visiting herself, her future self, I think.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, never, 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 never let me go. She said, come on
and let me live, girl.
She said, come on and let me live, girl.
She's encouraging her not to give up. Compound quadruple meter. It's got a little bit of everything in here, right? Here's some folk influences. There's pop influences. There's classical influences. There's Gregorian chant influences. It's proggy. A little bit of everything. It's one of the only real breaks for an instrumental section without vocals that we've had.
I put this moment here. I put this moment here. I put this moment over here.
Over here.
They can control their moments.
Can't you see where memories are kept bright, tripping on the water like a laughing girl? Time in our eyes is spawning past life, run on the ocean and the woman unfurls, holding all the love that waits for you here. Catch us now, for I am your future.
I am your future.
A kiss on the wind and we'll make the land. Come over here to where when lingers, waiting in this empty world, waiting for then when the life spray cools. For now does ride in on the curl of a wave, and you will dance me in the sunlit pools. We're of the going water and the gone.
We are of the
of
going
water
water and
the
the
holy
gone.
land of water, and all that's to come runs in with the thrust on the strand.
And it ends on an A. I believe that was her brother that was voicing that. I'm not sure. But this is interesting, y'all. So now it's a hallucination or a dream of herself in the future as an older lady. So, okay, this is interesting. We've gotten a past, Waking the Witch, right? We've gotten a present with Watching You Without Me, and now a look into the future with Jig of Life. And her future self is encouraging her not to give up, to persevere, and to live. Because if she gives up now, the future won't come to pass. Right? So she says, this moment in time, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to me and to your little boy and to your little girl. And the one hand clapping where on your palm is my little line. When you're when you're written in mine as an old memory. Right? She's like, all of these things that are going to happen, that are going to come to pass, will not if you don't come out of this and live and persevere. Right? Really fascinating. 3 songs in the middle of this suite. So let's move on to Hello Earth, which is the next one in the suite, and it goes like this. Here we go. It's a NASA recording. Back like the beginning. Yeah, C sharp minor with A and B.
With just one hand held apart, I can blot you out of sight. Peekaboo, peekaboo, little love.
The only way the Earth could peekaboo is if you're very far away from it.
My heart and my mind.
So maybe a change in perspective here.
Driving home, you sleep on the seat. I get out of my car, step into the night, and look up at the sky. And there's something bright traveling far.
There's something bright
Just
traveling
look at it
fast.
go.
Just look at it go.
Just look at
Is it a meteor?
go.
Comet? That's a move. A choir. Goes back up to F from E flat to F. Back to where she was. That's a heck of a move.
Watching the storm start to form
This is amazing.
over and there in
watching the storm start to form over America. Can't do anything. Just watch them swing with the wind out to sea.
All you sailors, all lifesavers,
Get out of the waves, get out of the water.
all you cruisers,
Boy, her vocal ability is breathtaking.
men head for home. Go to sleep with her. I was there at the birth, out of the cloudburst, the head of the tempest. Murderer,
Murderer of calm. Why did I go?
why did I go?
Questioning her choices. That's a move of a tritone from B major to F. Turns minor. I don't know what they're singing. Y'all, I really don't. I don't have that information. But it connects to something ancient. E flat to F, pretty sure. Reinforced with the double bass. Boy, that's so spacious and just expansive, isn't it? But intimate at the same time. Really beautiful.
Irgendwo in der Tiefe gibt es ein Licht.
Boy, it's like a forever. What? She's really close to death. What's going to happen? That's what I'm getting towards the end. There. Whew. We only have one more, friends, but let me think about this one before we move on. Hello, Earth. So we start with a new perspective, being above Earth, right? We start with a sound from NASA. And she says, "Hello, Earth. With just one hand held up high, I can blot you out of sight." You know, peekaboo, peekaboo, little Earth. You remember in Apollo 13 when Tom Hanks as Jim Lovell does that with the moon, right? He puts his thumb up there. And it's like from here, the moon is gone, right? But from the moon, you can do the same thing with the Earth. You just switch places and you get a completely different perspective. I believe that our narrator here is on the verge of drowning. It's far into this, right? She hears the calls of her rescuers, but it's faint. Get out of the waves, get out of the water, get out of the waves, get out of the water. Where she says, murderer, murderer of calm. I wonder if that's her own subconscious yelling at her. She is kind of withdrawn. She is disconnected. She's not hearing things well. And her perspective switches drastically. We get, the hugeness and the immediacy of her dangerous predicament. Man, this is just unbelievably cool. She's looking down at the earth, maybe, looking down from the stars to find something tiny and quite insignificant, and which is herself, right? So you can, be yourself and have this huge thing in your own mind and think everything's about you, but you switch and you go, miles and miles and miles away, and you look back and it's quite insignificant, isn't it? She gains that new perspective that wasn't there before. The question is, does she die or does she not? Maybe we'll learn that in the Morning Fog, which is the last tune of the suite, and it goes like this. Here we go. Happy. Boy, that's a shift.
Begin to bleed, begin to breathe, begin to speak. You know what? I love you better now. I'm falling like a stone, like
Latte.
a stone. Being born again into the sweet morning.
So it's a major key, but Mixolydian. I think B. All major chords. I think she's coming out of her ordeal, y'all.
I love you better now. I'm falling, but I love to now. Kiss the ground.
I'll kiss the ground.
I tell my mother.
I will tell my mothers. These are promises to herself.
I tell my father.
I'll tell my father. I'll tell my loved ones.
I tell my loved one.
I'll tell my brothers
I tell my brother.
how much I love them. She's rededicating her life.
Much I love them.
Awesome. It's kind of musically simple at the end. That's it. Yeah, the last song is after all of that, it just kind of, it's not quite the big resolved ending musically that I thought it could be. Lyrically, I think it hits the mark. She is returning to consciousness. She is returning to herself. She is coming out of her ordeal. It's a song of rebirth. And quite frankly, I don't think it matters if she actually dies and comes back to life or if it's simply a story of redemption and the ability to start again, to rededicate the meaning of a life. In verse 2, I am falling like a stone, like a storm being born again into the sweet morning fog. do you know what? I love you better now. So she's taking stock of her life. And then verse 3, it's all of these promises that she's making, I think, to herself. I'm falling and I'd love to hold you now. I'll kiss the ground. I'll tell my mother. I'll tell my father. I'll tell my loved ones. I'll tell my brothers how much I love them. Whew. It's an amazing piece. It really is. From that same radio interview that I cited previously, Kate said this about this song and about how the suite comes to an end. She says, that's really meant to be the rescue of the whole situation, where now suddenly out of all of this darkness and weight comes light. That I do get, y'all, because the song previously was quite heavy, and this one just buoyant, right? As she goes on, the weightiness is gone, and here is the morning. And it's meant to feel very positive and bright and uplifting from the rest of dense darkness of the previous track. Well, there you go. And although it doesn't say so, in my mind, this was the song where they were rescued. And where they got pulled out of the water, and it's very much a song of seeing perspective, of being so grateful for everything that you have, that you're never grateful of in ordinary life because you just abuse it totally, or you just don't take the time to appreciate it, right? So I think it's a fundamentally human story. It's a story that says it's never too late to start over, to rededicate your life, to restart, to, in a sense, be born again. And take a new shot at it, right? It could be on a daily basis, but I think that's the overriding message. And it's an overriding message over several songs, and so it's similar to some pretty famous song cycles that I'm familiar with and I've studied. All of these are on different subjects, but what comes to mind is Die Schöne Müllerin and Winterreise from Schubert. You've got Dichterliebe from Schumann, Kindertotenlieder from Mahler, Songs of Proverbs of William Blake from Benjamin Britten, even the Songs of Travel from Vaughan Williams. These are all classical song cycles, but the idea of allowing a single narrator to tell a story doesn't have to be orchestrated. It doesn't have to be part of a big chorus, although she did have some choir in there, and that was cool. It's a way to tell a narrative over several little songs. And like I said in one of them along the way, it's kind of genre busting, friends. There's a little bit of pop in there. There's a little bit of prog, and there's a little bit of classical, and it's all kind of combined into this unique suite of tunes. And I really enjoyed that. Kate Bush, the Ninth Wave Suite. It's been a long time coming because people have been asking me to do this for a long time, but I'm happy to finally get to this and to listen to it. Sounds like a great album, y'all, because I've already heard, Running Up That Hill from the front side. And so maybe at some point we'll listen to all of side one, but that will be for another time. Today we've been listening to the Ninth Wave Suite by Kate Bush, and I thank y'all for being with me today. We will see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.